أناجي الحق في ليل بهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى أناجي الحق في ليل بهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, and welcome to Perspective. My name is Faizel Patel. In tonight's show, we look at a trip that I've undertaken to the Kruger National Park, courtesy of the Sand Parks Honorary Rangers. I'll also cover the story of Faizel Patel, who was back in court. CSA, or Cricket South Africa, responds to a racist tweet, and we also look at some tech news. Remember, you can interact with me by sending me a mail on faisal@itvnetworks.tv. Drop me a tweet on @Faizy143, or you can even comment on facebook.com/Faizel Patel. Now, I've never been to the Kruger National Park, and even before you gasp with horror, it's not because I didn't want to. I just never had the opportunity to see it the way I wanted to understand the dynamics, the beauty, and the power of nature. That opportunity did arise in the form of an invite from the Honorary Park Rangers to spend 2 days in their company and in the bush. Now, I've heard a little about the group of men and women who on a volunteer basis dedicate their time to be part of the magnificence of the bushveld that words can never begin to even describe. Now, the thing with visiting a place for the very first time, and you'll know, is that you want that memory and experience to remain etched in your heart and mind forever. The experience I had carved a spot in my heart that left me wanting more of this priceless piece of nature. Now, one aspect of the 2-day stay at the Kruger National Park, and there were many that captured my heart, is the brutality and reality of rhino poaching. I'm a strong supporter of rhino conservation. I spoke to Sam Ferreira from the Bomas at the Kruger National Park about rhinos. Let's have a look at that video.
On average, about 1% of the standing population in any particular year. In the later years, it's become less and less and less. And that has served as a critical part of actually spreading rhinos elsewhere. So the private industry, for example, including John Hume, has got roughly about a quarter of South Africa's rhinos are sitting on private land. And that came from good protection that happened in places like Kruger, and then you shifted. Later on we started selling them. Initially it was donating, now we're selling them. And we would like to continue with that, and we are continuing with that because it is easier in the short term to protect a rhino on a smaller area. You just got a smaller, it's more efficient, and all that other sort of thing. But if you think about conservation principles, remember we're an organization and we don't exist just for rhinos, we exist for the full spectrum of South Africa's biological heritage. When do you get that? When you've got extensive areas that's sitting around there. So we would rather partner with private guys that are making use of extensive ranching exercises. There's now got rhinos walking around on their own. They can choose who they mate with. They can choose where they eat. So you're not interfering with those sort of things. And in the process, you've got accidentally a bunch of other outcomes. Other species also benefit now because there's large areas that's sitting out there. So that's where we focus, and that's where we realize we can put our rhino strongholds in as part of the biological management that's sitting out there. So how do we do this? The guys go out in the field and they capture rhinos. It is quite a well worked out process, and then which they find rhinos and they will actually dart it from the air, providing using a chemical immobilization, and you can literally sort of wake the rhino up halfway, and then you walk him with ropes around its feet into a crate. And you load the crate up on a truck and you can bring him up and you can walk him into this particular Bomas. Yeah, that's one way. Sometimes we just shift him directly to another park. In the Bomas, they often require adaptation. There is a young rhino that came in 2 days ago. I'll show you that very shortly. Seems like this little youngster. It's actually an orphan that we picked up from a mother after mother's killed her. But there is some adaptation that the guys have to do, and you probably heard in the background the radio playing. We'll walk up there now. But that helps to calm the rhinos and all these sort of things. And then from here the decisions will then make well. So if a rhino is not adapted, about 10% of them don't release them again into the places where they caught them and so forth. As part of our biological management work, we also do quite a bit of research work where we ask a lot of questions about how rhinos actually use landscapes, where they decide to go, what they're feeding on, etc., etc. So that does require rhino capture, putting a transmitter on them and so forth. Okay, so that's a very brief introduction to rhinos.
Yes, it was very, very interesting, and he shared a lot of information, as you can see from the video. Now, there is one animal that has made a huge difference in dealing with rhino poaching. This particular dog risks his life in the battle to save the rhino from extinction and has been awarded the PDSA Gold Medal, recognized worldwide as the Animals George Cross Medal. Now, the medal is the highest honor a civilian animal can receive for bravery and devotion. In the past 4 years, the acute tracking skills of the 5-year-old canine killer, yes, that's his name, canine killer, who's a Belgian Malinois, have led to the arrest of 115 poachers, making him the most successful dog working with the Kruger National Park's Special Operations Team. Now, alongside handler Amos Mzimba, Killer is flown in by helicopter to track and apprehend armed poachers when they are sighted or a dead rhino is discovered. On one patrol, Killer even came under fire from a heavy caliber rifle. Absolutely scary to think that poachers are lurking there. Environmental Crimes Investigation Unit's Bruce Leslie, who nominated the determined dog for the award, says it was all in the line of duty. That means coming under the attack of a heavy caliber rifle. He says Killer's sense of smell is absolutely amazing at tracking people, and he makes the Kruger Park more successful and the increases of arrest rate even higher. So he's a brilliant, brilliant dog, and I've actually met him. Now, let's have a look first at a clip of when I spoke to Bruce, and then thereafter that will be followed by a short video courtesy of PDSA about the Killer's work. Let's have a look at this. It's thoroughly enjoyable.
What about the message just to our viewers? I mean, if you had to say something with regards to the phenomenal work that the dog does.
Well, I think it's, I mean, yeah, we are as humans, we think we're awesome. But the animal that can't talk, that's got an amazing nose, it's got stamina, it's dedicated, it loves the handler, and it can love you as a person. And their love is unconditional. You know, and we as people have all these conditions. We don't love this person for this or that belief or this or that religion for that matter. But the dog, he don't care. He just loves you. You just love him back. That's all he wants is love. And I think that's the message, and that's what we need to take home, is that sometimes love is unconditional. And you've got to share that amongst each other.
Canine Killer is a scary name, but this lovely boy does fantastic work in the Kruger National Park. Rhinos are wonderful creatures that are being killed in their hundreds by these poachers, but Killer and his colleagues are fighting back. When poachers are detected, he gets airlifted by helicopter and then goes after them on foot. And it's working. He's helped capture dozens of poachers thanks to his amazing courage and dedication. When Killer's not on duty, his handler, Amos Mazimba, says he's very gentle and calls him one of his babies. But when he's working, he's incredibly adventurous, strong and clever, and he's making a huge contribution to rhino protection in South Africa.
Killer is a brave dog. Well, poacher shooted me, killer saved me.
The gold medal for Killer is amazing, and it's really quite humbling that a dog can get an award for the achievements that he's made and acknowledged for actually saving probably hundreds and hundreds of rhino in the Kruger Park.
So I'm delighted to say, K9 Killer, for your bravery and dedication, you are the latest animal hero to receive the PDSA Gold Medal. Thank you, and well done.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that videos. The Kruger Park has so much to offer, and these rhino conservationists, the Kruger Park, the rangers, the honorary rangers are doing a fantastic job. You should actually go check it out for yourself. We're going to be going for a break. After the break, inshallah, we will be speaking about Faizel Patel, who was back in court for his trial for killing his wife Fatima. Stay tuned to Perspective.
وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى إلهي صرت في ظرف عصيب فاكشف البلوى فيا ربي أنا.
Welcome back to Perspective. Police have assured the Polokwane High Court that they know the whereabouts of two key state witnesses in the case against Faizel Patel, who is accused of murdering his wife. Now, the case has been postponed to the 1st of August after the witnesses could not be located. Some media houses reporting that the witnesses disappeared. They just vanished. Well, not magic, but they just could not be found. Now, for those that don't know, and for our viewers, they're not aware of the case, I covered the story extensively last year. Faizel Patel is accused of killing his wife Fatima last year after she was found with a gunshot wound to the head in the couple's rented apartment in Polokwane. Now, Faizel Patel, who is currently out, he is out on bail of 250,000 rand, has denied the charges. He denied the charges. He said that Fatima has been killed or was killed by an intruder at their home in Polokwane. Now, not to be outdone, he is also facing a second murder charge after another man, Tony Adams, was beaten to death with a hockey stick in 2013 or 2013 after allegedly breaking into Patel's property. Now, the police's Ronel Otto, who I spoke to, says the case was postponed for completion of investigations and also to locate two witnesses who willingly left the witness protection program without informing the investigating officer. And she says they are aware of the whereabouts of the witnesses and are investigating to find them is on. Now, also, some media houses is reporting, I haven't been in court. It's very difficult to go to Limpopo and to the court. Sometimes these cases can be postponed in 5 minutes and you drive all the way for nothing. But I was checking Twitter, and what basically happened and what transpired in court, some media houses reporting that Faizel Patel's lawyer, Tumi Mokoena, actually called for the case to be dismissed, given the fact that the two witnesses disappeared. Now, the judge obviously ruled against this, and now the trial will go ahead on the 1st. So, absolutely interesting. Inshallah, I'm going to try to make a plan to actually go to the trial, and then we can bring that to our viewers on ITV. We can even be live tweeting from there, inshallah, so you can be kept up to date of what is actually happening there. Now, another story that's made headlines, or was making headlines, Cricket South Africa says it has accepted veteran sports journalist Dan Retief's apology after he posted a racist comment on the Proteas' victory over England. We know that England are in South Africa. They played a number of tests. They won the test series. They're playing the one days, and they're going to be playing the T20 as well. Now, Dan Retief sent out a message on Twitter on Sunday after Proteas captain AB de Villiers scored an unbeaten 101 to help South Africa to claim victory during the final one-day international. Now, CSA President Chris Nenzani says they've received an email from Retief apologizing to the sports body. Now, he says they've accepted that apology and the matter will be considered as being concluded and have a national team for all South Africans. But social media users are not so easily forgiving and are still sending Retief messages calling him a racist. Now, I don't know if you've seen that tweet. If you've seen the tweet, and it will be displayed on the screen, inshallah, so you can know exactly what I'm talking about. But we've put this whole racist agenda or this racist atmosphere to rest. We've had Penny Sparrow, we've had Gareth Cliff, we've had so many others as well. It seems that racism is still, in my opinion, just alive and well. Let me know what your thoughts and comments are. Do you think racism is still alive in South Africa? I mean, it just doesn't end, do we? 20 years into democracy, and we are still getting this. Now, for those that don't know Dan Retief, he is a freelance journalist who regularly writes a column for the City Press. And the City Press now is yet to respond to that particular matter. Now, one of the other major stories, or one of the stories that really makes headlines usually at the beginning of the year, is regards to suicide and teen suicide during the beginning of the year as matric results come out. You know, sometimes the students don't get the desired result and they resort to suicide, which is not the answer. So this Monday that passed, marked the beginning of Teen Suicide Prevention Week, which is an initiative aimed at educating the general public about suicide prevention and the warning signs that people need to look out for. So it's a very, very important thing. You know, sometimes people's morale is diminished, people's morale is destroyed, people are in a very bad frame of time, a frame of mind, you're going through a difficult time, and they resort to these outlets, if you want to call them that, where suicide seems to be the brightest option at the time. Now, studies have shown that 9% of teen deaths in South Africa are suicide. That is absolutely scary. Having battled to keep its helpline operating due to a lack of funding, the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, or SEDEC, on Monday received a R1 million donation by health insurance company Discovery Health. That's absolutely good news, because we need to do a lot to ensure that suicide or teen suicide is avoided. There were reports in the week on Tuesday, where one student actually committed suicide because NSFAS, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, rejected her application for funding for tertiary education. And while we understand that tertiary costs are expensive, if you're studying for a degree, or you're studying for your honors, or you're studying for your doctorate, or your postgraduate, whatever the case may be, we know that are exorbitant. We've discussed this before, where we were taking a science or bachelor science of degree. It will cost you about 400,000 rand, if I stand corrected. It's a lot, and for a person that just is qualified, if you don't have any funding or you don't have any bursaries, where do you get the money from, unless you have got some affluent parents who will assist you, that you can pay them back? But it's absolutely difficult. We also spoke about the virgin bursaries, where you need to be a virgin for you to be eligible for a bursary. Sometimes companies like CSIR or many other companies, or construction companies or science companies, will attach a bursary to a specific profession. So they say that if you study, say, physics, or if you study to become a quantity surveyor, or if you study to become a doctor, or if you whatever, and we will grant you a bursary based on the fact that you study these particular professions. And on that basis, after you qualify, some of them even attach something else where you have to work for them for 2-3 years, and that makes it easy because you don't have to pay the bursary off, but then you attach to that particular company. So the South African Anxiety and Depression Group, so Operational Director Casey Chambers says that this was such a great way to launch Teen Suicide Prevention Week, and just the start of the week of knowing that a company like Discovery Health can come forward and support the suicide crisis line for next year. Absolutely crucial. Now, the SEDEC National Helpline, for don't know, if you have a pen on you while watching this program, please do take it down. Maybe somebody might need it. The SEDEC National Helpline number is 0800, we will have that on the screen, 0800 12 13 14. 0800 12 13 14. That number is available 7 days a week. So if you know somebody that is going through a difficult time or a tough time, maybe you can pass on the number, and maybe we can bring those numbers down 9%, bring it down hopefully to 0, where we don't have any more teen suicides. Coming on to our tech segment, Apple is on target. Again, I know the viewers are going to say that I'm an Apple fundi, or I'm an Apple fanboy, if you want to call it that. Well, Apple is on target to introduce its next iPhone and iPad models on the 15th of March. So diarize the date. 15th of March, the new iPhone and the iPad models will be coming out, and it aims to start selling. Apple aims to start selling the devices in the same week. So the same week that it launches these products, it's going to be selling the products in the same week. Now, Apple, which will introduce a new 4-inch iPhone dubbed, listen to this, the iPhone 5 SE, iPhone 5 SE, and a new iPad Air. That's the one I'm looking for, the new iPad Air. The Pro is just too massive. The new iPad Air will be launched at the event. Is unlikely to take pre-orders for the new devices. So while it will go on sale the same time, there's no pre-orders for it. Now, the technology giant has hit a trough in iPhone demand. The 0.4% rise in shipments in the fiscal first quarter was the slowest ever increase in iPhone sales since the phone was launched in 2007. Now, the new 4-inch iPhone 5 SE is designed to spur iPhone hardware upgrades for customers seeking faster devices without upgrading to the far larger iPhone 6s and 6 and 6s Plus screen sizes. So I'm looking actually forward to that. And Apple, unfortunately, with this news coming out, could not be immediately reached for comment, but no doubt they will post something shortly. So let's take it at that. For those viewers of that do use Apple products, are you looking forward to the new iPad and the new iPhone? You can let me know by sending me a mail on Faizel@itvnetworks.tv. Drop me a tweet on @Faizi143, or you can even comment on Facebook.com/Faizel Patel. So some of the stories that we've covered at the beginning of the program, we spoke about rhino poaching and the Kruger National Park. I suggest that you do go to the Kruger National Park, see for yourself, and try to play an integral role. They need massive amounts of donations to keep the park viable and to help as well, especially the honorary rangers, the Sand Parks honorary rangers. I want to also take this opportunity to thank Vanessa and also Farouk Hassan for showing us such a wonderful time and also teaching us a lot while we were at the Kruger National Park. I've learned so much, and my eyes are now wider open. I have more knowledge about all the activities that take place at the Kruger National Park. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of this week's edition of Perspective. Remember, you can join me again next week, inshallah, where we discuss stories making local, national, and international headlines. Remember, you can interact with me by sending me a mail on Faizel@itvnetworks.tv, drop me a tweet on @Faizi143, or you can even comment on Facebook.com/Faizel Patel. From myself, Faizel Patel, and the magnificent team here at ITV, fi amanillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أناجي الحق في ليل لهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى أناجي الحق في ليل لهيم أصدق النجوى وأدعو الله من قلب سليم يطلب التقوى صرت في ظرف عصيب فاكشف البلوى فيا ربي أنا عبد لرد الضيم لا يقوى أعني ربي في أمر